Great. Welcome, everybody. We're here this evening to celebrate Shelley O'Carroll for her wonderful years of work, 16 years of work in building up WordWorks into the organization that it is today. We are so proud of you, Shelley, and we are so grateful too, because you've really you've put a spotlight on ECD and on the importance of literacy in South Africa. And we know how vital it is. But you've also brought passion and heart to the work that you do here at WordWorks. And that is just infused in every single person, I think, that is involved in WordWorks, is that passion and heart. So thank you for that. There's an online tribute to you. It's not, we couldn't keep all these tributes to ourselves, and your team has been gathering them from lots of your partners and friends through the years. So we're going to be playing a short video, and these are also just abbreviated little versions of what people said, so you'll get the full versions later. So thank you, Shelley, and over to the tribute.
Shelley, it's Nokuthula Msimango, the Early Learning Manager. I just want to say thank you so much for your hard work and say goodbye. We're using EWC even in the classroom with the ECD teachers. They understand it so well. We're using it with the farmers, the Fund Foundation guardians, and there is this program that we're using this year for the Little Stars. It's based on the storytelling. We've got so many ways now of doing the storytelling. Thank you so much for your hard work. We are still going to use WordWorks, even if you are not part of WordWorks team. We wish you good luck. Thank you so much.
In this household, there is a more or less constant refrain. Anytime I get stressed or overwhelmed by my work at Early Bird, I think I should have just asked Shelley for a job at WordWorks. And this comes from the fact that the single most enjoyable and rewarding working experience of my professional life was working with you and your team, Shell, on the Story Fund project to adapt Stella for a pre-grade R setting. Shell, as a fellow female founder trying to raise a young family, you are an incredible source of inspiration to me. Thank you for everything you have done. So productive. I can't even believe how much you've achieved in your years at WordWorks. A lot of people talk the talk. You really walk the walk and get stuff done. But it's not just what you do, it's how you do it. Your quiet confidence, your unassuming ways, your ability to get the best out of people is just really something that I will strive towards in my own leadership style. I watch the way you interact with funders, with your teammates, with other partners in the NGO space, and it really has taught me a great deal. And I'm so appreciative that I've been lucky enough to interact with you, and I hope to continue to do so as you embark on your next step. We are all so lucky to know you, and we really wish you all the best.
Everyone, Julia from BookDash here, and I just want to say a massive thank you to Shelley for the level of involvement she was part of in the early days of BookDash. Once we decided that we believed every child should own 100 books by the age of 5, and we wanted to work with partners in the literacy landscape to achieve that, Shelley helped us navigate who to work with, how we could best support the existing programs, how to put together funding proposals. One of our early funding proposals was a joint partnership with WordWorks, and it's just amazing that still to this day, since 2014, many years later, we're still working with WordWorks to get books into the hands of children with the support that they provide for the caregivers and the ECD trainers. And it's just been fundamental, her influence on the trajectory and the foundation of Book Dash.
My name is Dorette. I work at Book Dash. And I must say, everything I heard about Shelley from other people who've worked with her before was true and more. She's one of the most respectful people that I've encountered in terms of other people's opinions and giving space and airtime for everyone to input. But she's certainly no pushover, and when she feels strongly about something based on her enormous reservoir of knowledge and experience, she'll make sure that comes across, and that it's always for the greater good of the project that she's busy working on. I suspect that wherever Shelley goes, that is the case. People learn from her, even though it's definitely not in a preachy way. It's just by the fact that she shares so generously and makes people really comfortable.
Shelley, it is my privilege to say a few words on behalf of the Western Cape Education Department. We got to know you as a partner when we rolled out the ELIT program in 2015, and what a journey it was to work with you. Your passion for the little ones and your heart for our learners and our parents will always be something that we treasure. When COVID came, you didn't stand back. You embarked on a new journey with the at-home learning forum, and out of that was the time resources that was born, which is a great help to our parents and our learners when being at home. We will always treasure you for the impact and your contribution to the education sphere. We salute you for all your hard work, for everything that you put into the system, and we will always treasure you as a friend, even now you would have retired from the WordWorks. All the best for the new journey that you will embark on.
Molo Shelley, Malus here from the HSI Foundation. Thank you very much for your contribution to the sector. I think WordWorks has done a lot under your leadership. We've seen a lot of things coming up, and also your original of education. I hope in the next era you will still actually be involved in developing literacy in South Africa. So thank you very much. All the best for the next phase of your life. Thank you.
Hi, Shelley from Katie Houston at Nali Valley. I wanted to say that when I first started working with you in 2014, when I was WordWorks grant manager at DGMT, I was actually pretty starstruck because as somebody working in education, nonprofits in South Africa and in Cape Town, I'd really looked up to WordWorks, and now I had this opportunity to engage with you on strategy and vision and M&E and all sorts of interesting things. And it was really exciting to work with you and your team and learn so much from you. And I think hopefully to add a bit of value in the process. And more recently at Nali Valley, it's just been such a privilege to work with such committed and high-performing and thoughtful partners who really, really, really care about transforming the way that young children experience language and literacy and relationships with their caregivers through the power of words and stories. I think that one of the things that stands out from working with you is that when I listen to you make the case, when you talk about why early language and literacy development is so important and why the potential there is for adults to come into that, sort of the untapped power and potential, I always feel this little bubble of hope and optimism and vision kind of rising inside of me. And I think, gosh, I wish I could just say this the way Shelley says it. But you've made that case so many times in so many ways for years. And there's a whole army of us now who are going out there and continuing to tell that story and make them.
What a pleasure and an honor it has been to serve in the WordWorks board for the last few years. I've developed a real love and appreciation for the important work you all do in the early literacy space. Without a doubt, WordWorks is contributing in fundamental ways to the lives of young children, their teachers, their parents, and their caregivers. You can be really proud of your life's work. I've also learned so much from the experience of serving on your board. You're professional, super organized, open, ethical, and deeply compassionate. It is clear that these qualities have helped to build WordWorks into the organization it is today. And most certainly they've inspired me in their own work. I wish you so much as you start this next phase of your working career. I've no doubt that you will continue to contribute to the literacy space and that the impact of whatever you do will be felt for years to come. Farewell, Shelley.
Hi, Shell. I'm here with Catherine, and we've been talking about what a pioneer you have been in the field of early language and literacy, how much you have meant to so many people, and how perhaps your special gift has been pulling together the importance on the one hand of research, on the other hand of practice, and how the two feed each other. That has just been so important to the whole spirit and ethos of WordWorks and the kind of standard you've held us to as an organization, and which we've tried to spread under your leadership in the field. And this is something we really want to acknowledge into the future, Shell. And we want to encourage more people beyond WordWorks to be picking up the baton of early language and literacy work through not just our networks, but independent people, researchers, practitioners across the country, to be really finding ways to promote the importance of foundational language and emergent literacy skills as part of the solution to the literacy crisis in the country. And we thought one way of doing this would be to offer people some kind of award for focusing on this work, for taking it seriously and for taking the work forward. Catherine, what do you feel about awards? I mean, how does that work in Latasa?
Yeah, so I think awards are really important because they acknowledge the often quiet, long, dedicated line of work that people enter into across their careers with so much heart and so much love and devotion. And I think awards are important to acknowledge the effort, the courage, the input that people have made in their various sectors. And sometimes it can go unseen. And so I think at Latasa, we are working towards presenting awards to people to acknowledge this contribution that they're making to literacy in South Africa. And I think an award in the early literacy space would be an amazing addition and really would just bolster and encourage people working in that sector to continue doing the excellent work that they do.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we felt too. And so we've been talking as an organization, all our staff, all the different teams, and then obviously we've been engaging with our board. And that's why we have been speaking to you and Latasa over the last weeks and months. And I think you have something maybe to announce now.
Yes, so we are very excited to announce in partnership with WordWorks in 2022, we will establish the Shelley O'Carroll Early Literacy Award, which will be awarded to the researcher or practitioner, an individual or an organization or a group who are doing commendable and innovative work in the early literacy space. So thank you, Shelley, for giving us this opportunity, and thank you for WordWorks for instituting such an exciting award. And we're really looking forward to partnering with you on this.
Thank you, Catherine. WordWorks couldn't be prouder to be associated with Latasa, and Shelley, we couldn't be prouder to be putting your name out into the future in association with this work. Thank you, and congratulations.
Congrats.
So Shelley, I'm feeling quite overwhelmed myself, actually. I don't know about other people. But we'd like to invite you up here to say a few words if you're willing to, and and to say what you think about the award too. I'm very excited.
Well, I must say, I don't know how you kept this a surprise this way. So yeah, for someone who's normally organizing things, I did wonder what all these chairs were doing here. And then now I realized my dad had sent a message this morning to say when he retired, he did have a few words of thanks on hand, just in case. So, which I obviously didn't take that. But but thank you so much. And I mean, just hearing and seeing those messages, and all of those people have been such a big part of my life and of our journey, and and just brought back so many very, very happy memories beyond the team and our current work, but just and each of them was a step on our path. As you all know, I've never had a grand plan. But I can see how, each of those was an important part of what we learned and where we took this work. And it's really good to be reminded of how much it's impacted on people and will continue to. And I'm glad everyone is going to continue when I leave, and I've no doubt that it will grow. And I think if I was leaving the sector and if I was leaving the space, I would be really very, very heartsore. Because there is so much work to be done, but it does feel like, I'll be continuing to contribute. I'm not going far from WordWorks, actually. There's quite a bit of work to do next year still. But I am looking forward to being able to focus and to, it is interesting because some of the threads that came through in the messaging is, to keep trying to balance out the learning and the thinking and building on research and what other people know and bringing that here, but also keeping it real. So I don't think we'll ever change that as the emphasis. But I am looking forward to doing some things well and feeling comfortable about how much I can put into things and not leaping from one to the next. I've had this really strange thought, and I'll find the photo sometime, but I do remember as our kids were growing up, we'd go to parties, and my sister and sister-in-law and Jackie Twist and others around, Jackie Botha, would make these beautiful cakes for their children's birthdays. And I mean, Ange helped us for years with Ali and Josh's cakes. So I don't know why I'm telling this story, but it does feel like it's a bit of a symbol of my life. And we have this picture, which I will find, of, I think it was Josh's birthday one year, where I think on Friday, probably at about 7 o'clock, I sort of looked, and the birthday was on Saturday, I looked and wondered if we had icing sugar or cake ingredients. And then I think it was an underwater theme. And as you know, drawing and singing of my lesser talents. And so Stuart helped to design, but we sort of had a cake, and then it had a crab and an octopus. I mean, only a 3-year-old could really have appreciated that. But I always remember thinking, I hope people appreciate that I actually worked until 7, and it was, this was my best effort given the circumstances. But I always thought, it would be really nice to have actually spent the time and done this properly, not the cake making only. But it has felt for a lot of my time at WordWorks that it's been a real tension between doing as well and as much as we could in the space, but also trying to just lead a balanced life and be a mum and being a wife and doing so much that I want to do in the world. And so, it's and obviously it's very hard to boundary this work because there's so much need and there's so much potential. So it has been, and I've not been very good at kind of finding those ways of prioritizing or, juggling. I've been good at juggling, but perhaps just deciding which balls to kind of hold up. And so, and I mean, I think we've always had a feeling of, it's got to be good enough and we must move forward with it. So I think, amazing. Every year at this time at the AGM, I look back and think how much has been done. And I see some of those really partners I hold in such high esteem and donors who really acknowledge the work and the caliber. And I see in all of our partnerships how people appreciate our way of working. So I couldn't be more proud. And this is just a very, very beautiful testimony and exactly what I would have liked as a way of framing this part of my journey. And I mean, obviously the team will be together next week to spend time together and say goodbyes. Obviously there are just so many people to mention and acknowledge, and I'm not even going to start here. But I think what always I feel, and there've been moments where I've just thought, how can I keep this all going and afloat? And but actually, what I take out with me is all the amazing people I've met. You saw some of them on the screen, but this team and each person who's joined our space, our broader network, our team, our board, who've all brought something that has enriched my life and given me a chance to learn about our country and our history and our people. And I've been really privileged because my life would have been so less rich if I hadn't. So it's partly about the work and it's about the children and it's about literacy, but it's also about the gift of people who've all somehow found us. And I know I've said this before, but I do really think there's something about this work that attracts people who have the similar belief and values and want the same things. And so I've been very, very privileged to have journeyed with so many people who see things the same way, and there are not many people who have that in their life's work and in their careers. So that will always stay with me. And there's so many friends and people that I will want to continue to be part of my life in our network and in our team. So I've just. I'm very tired, and there's no doubt that this is the right decision for WordWorks and for me. It's been a long time coming, and I appreciate the journey it's taken for me and for the organization to move into a new space. As Kathy said, and Kathy's been another one of our moms over many years, and she knows us well. I don't think the organization's ever been in a better position to take the work forward. We've got such a strong team, and I really want to acknowledge our management team. Where's Colleen here tonight? I can't see. So Colleen, Gabriel, and Jane really just we've grown this from an idea, and Bridget, I don't think either of us had any idea of where it was going to go and what it would need and how we would do it. We believed it was the right thing to do, and we stepped up and took our first steps, and it grew from there. But it wasn't an organization, it was just a group of us trying to kind of find our way. And certainly over the years, we've matured and grown, and really in the last few years, just seeing what value everyone has brought to the programs and the work, but also for me to the organization. And certainly our board has helped to support that growth and establish us. It's one thing to go out and do good work, but you've got to be able to have a good home for that. And I think our management team and the consistency there that Gabriel's provided over the years, and the patience with having an errant director who's always busy writing materials and not doing what she should. And then obviously Jane, with both her organizational experience, her amazing knowledge and understanding of education, even though she said she's not from literacy, she's just brought so much to us. And then her strategic brain, her ability to bring systems and make things happen, and her drive and her energy. I mean, we just, the organization has just there's so much of you in this, and and then Colleen joining our team this year and just being the rock that you are and just holding these spaces for us, which has just been so important. So yeah, I mean, I just see the strengths of so many people coming forward. And then Mamusa, it's been so lovely to get to know you. And I've said it before. I think we were in a meeting the other day and someone said, what has been a good thing that's happened this week? And it was a particularly difficult week because we were struggling with materials. And I just said, I've just had so many lovely conversations with you and it felt so positive. And so for me, you know, a lot of people say, well, you know, you're leaving your baby and what's going to happen when, you know, and I've just not had one moment of wondering what's going to happen and how it's going to. I mean, I've got so much faith in this team, in the partnerships we've built, and in the position we hold, and in the leadership that we have and that we've recruited. So thank you so much for tonight. It's been so lovely. And I said, I did have a wardrobe crisis this morning, and if I'd known this was coming, it would have been an even bigger wardrobe crisis. So I'm very glad you didn't tell me, because I think I wore one smart outfit on Monday and then another when Mamusa and I went out for supper last night, and it was looking a bit thin this morning. Anyway, so yeah, but it's just been so lovely, and yeah, it's just really special. So I know that doing this amidst all the other million things you've had to do in the last few weeks has not been easy. Enrico and you photographers, videos, you, Andrea? Sure. No, it's been so lovely. So thank you for everything tonight and for all the work behind the scenes. I've loved the messages and the way it was put together. I saw the birds and the flowers. So you really thought of everything, and the music was beautiful. So thank you, and thank you to my family for being here. And there's been a lot of lifting and helping this week and in the last 15 years to make this all possible. I think, I mean, where do I start? But I think you've known these children since before they were born, really. So I do remember Bridget and Cynthia sending me lots of messages to ask when Ali was coming. And there's been, and arriving at St. James and them saying, how was your baby? And my baby was already at school and growing up. So they've been part of the journey. For better, for worse. I've juggled this, and the organization has juggled me being a mum and holding that space as much as I can. I think it's added so much value to the work, but also to how we understand women and motherhood and the journey for many women in the country. So I think you guys have given me that gift. I mean, I couldn't be more proud of them. And I mean, they're fabulous kids, but they're lovely too, and they and they do all sorts of things I can't, and I'm just everyone, you guys have your spelling and your drawings are infused right through our work. You're actually quite famous nationally for your early writing attempts. And I'm not going to begin to thank my husband, because he has been very, very, very tolerant of an errant wife and a very busy person who, has worked some really crazy hours and times, and not always been full of energy and joy. It's been meaningful work, but it's also taken its toll, I think. So we're looking forward to some. We've always had good holidays, as you know, thanks to our chief organizer, but also I think just being a little bit less frenetic and a little bit more available to enjoy the moment and be part of things. So lots of not grand plans ahead, but maybe just taking life a little bit more gently. And then to my parents, who've obviously been a big supporter of WordWorks since we started. Mamusa, you don't know, but our first office was the basement in their home in St. James. So yeah, I think Gabriel, Edeline, and I, and Ange, and Sue and Bridget, we used to, yeah, I think we soon got, that was about as many as we could fit, and then it was a bit of a squeeze. So we had an office and a storeroom, and it was one of those. And then when we actually grew up and went into a house, we still used a space at their house for storage and for meetings and for just general use of space. We've benefited from all the visits and the catering and the sort of, we see a need next door, let's pop in and help a bit with that. So yeah, and then yeah, we've obviously benefited through a very substantial donation over many, many years to WordWorks and the work we do. So yeah, and I mean, I think that's only not because of me, but it's also because this work is so important and so valuable, and it's a contribution to a better country and a better future for all of us. So yeah, so thank you for believing in the work and in me, and for setting me on this path. I think sometimes you've wondered what you said, what you let out into the world, but yeah, it's I mean these. I didn't become this way when I started WordWorks. I've always been running, and so that started a lot longer and earlier than this. So yeah, and it's both been my gift and I suppose my challenge to rein in and manage a bit. So yeah, I mean, and I've spoken for a lot longer than I thought was possible, but yeah, thank you for tonight. It's been really lovely and more than I would have ever expected. So yeah, and I look forward to spending time at Kirsten Bosch with everyone next week and just enjoying the time together.
Thank you, Shelley. It was so beautiful. And I mean, I said it in my talk earlier, but you really have been an inspiration to me personally. And the one thing, I'm also transitioning out of my job, and it's just been such a gift being able to watch you and to learn from you, like every little step of the way. So thank you for that. But I also just wanted to talk about that transition because it has been the way that you've managed it. You've really orchestrated it so carefully, and you've been planning it so carefully over months and months. It's not something which you've just suddenly done and thought, now's the moment and I've got to go. And I mean, I just think that shows the kind of the care that you bring to the work and to the organization. And I just wanted to say to Esty as well, I mean, also you being on board for this whole process and providing the support to WordWorks in this time, I think has really been invaluable. So I wanted to thank you as a board member, to thank you for that contribution. But I think it is always a difficult transition. And I mean, I'm so pleased that we found you, Mamusa. And it's really lovely. It's so lovely to be welcoming you to the WordWorks family, and we look forward to working together with you as a board, and I know as a team, and they already have started, and I know that your induction has been quite intense at times and busy, but it's also, and I know that you're up for the job, and really looking forward to having you here. So I don't know if you want to come up and say a few words as well. Thank you.
And I'm normally not a crier. I actually don't remember crying at work, speaking, ever. I've actually put down a few thoughts. And just listening to messages and speakers, and it's just interesting how some of the concepts that I've actually put down in my 3 weeks of being in the organization and basking in your glory, that it's the same concept that come over and over again. And what did I say? We as a staff, the board, and everyone who's an associate or a member of the WordWorks family, together with every child or family or parent, educator, coordinator, the various stakeholders of WordWorks are highly indebted of, the vision. I mean, I've used the word, you're a visionary. The vision that you've carved and the legacy that you've founded, and we are a beneficiary of your work. And actually, I didn't even realize when I took on this opportunity that I'm taking on something this enormous, and I kept asking myself, this is such an amazing organization, but I never came across it in my previous work and role, But the universe and God would design things in His own way. But here I am, and I'm very honored to be part of the WordWorks family. And you really birthed and nurtured, and the way I was thinking this morning, like painstakingly, this work and the original work that you've done. It's the seed, is the foundation, and we find comfort. And I know some of the staff members are just maybe concerned or thinking about, are we getting rid, or are we tossing aside some of the original and ground programs? But for me, I keep saying that is the seed you've planted, and it's going to be multiplying, morphing and evolving into so many ways, and bigger than a lot of us. And I'm highly, privileged to be part of the team that would be able to contribute to that, taking the work forward. And I really would like to acknowledge your generosity of spirit in terms of my own onboarding, how you've really been there, and I've been imbibing, all the literacy, the love, the passion that you have, and I've never really maybe appreciated the literacy and the language like I do at this point, and I really have an exciting journey ahead to really delve deeper into the work that we do. And how you've shared with me in your busy schedule, hand-holding, just sharing with me your passion, your profound love for, our country, people. To me, it's palpable, and I think I'm a fairly good judge of character. I could get it wrong, but I really am so in great company. One of the colleagues from my previous organization that I trust, and we were just talking about my move to WordWorks, and he's like, that's the most amazing woman you're going to be working with or taking from. And she's not egotistical at all. He's like so removed, but in the sector. But he was like, no, you and your personality, I think you'll be in good company. And for me, that was so comforting. Yeah, and I pray and commit, I really would like to read this, to working with the staff, obviously led by the board, to grow with the diligence it warrants and the care the organization deserves in taking this work forward. And it's such a daunting, but in a good way, intimidating, but in a challenging good way for the betterment of our country. And I commit to be able to, do justice, obviously as part of the team, as the collective, to this. I think this work is bigger than any of us. I see myself in some cog somewhere there, but this is foundation laid, and it's work so precious and bigger than all of us. And I think I'm so privileged to be standing on the shoulders of giants, all of us and the people in the sector. And Shelley, colleagues, okay, I'll just stop here. I'm just grateful. And ndiyabulela, and I was thinking of my Xhosa, I need to dig deep. uThixo akukhusele. I think this is what they say, that God bless you and bless all of us. And yeah, yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So I think now we are going to need to say thank you to the people who've been joining us online. I think, are we going offline now? Is that right?
We're not going to go offline, so
okay.
People can stay if they want to.
Okay. So you can stay if you want to, but you don't have to. But we're going to stick around here because we've got a few gifts that we need to be giving. So Bridget, do you want to come up?
Shelley. Sure. It's a gift from all of us, from WordWorks and from the board. We're going to take the last okay. I'm going to Okay. Sure. This is with a carefully chosen. We did discuss it with Stu. And I must say, first prize to you. I thought, I don't know any husband who would be able to come up with the details that you did. So thank you so much. Really. Really hats off to him. And it was carefully chosen, carefully made, and designed especially for you, Sue. So from all of us at WordWorks and from the board, we want to say, we hope you love it. And you're going to have to open it. Be very careful.
Someone behind you.
Oh, me.
Shell, this is also from the staff.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bridget, you also need to come up. Sorry, Bridget, you must come up too. Sue, sorry. Bridget.
Yes. So, Bridget, I don't think that we could have had this tribute without acknowledging your role in Shelley's journey with WordWorks. So although I wasn't there at the beginning of your partnership with Shelley, I have observed over the years that you are a perfect fit. You match each other really well. So just to give everyone a little bit of background on Bridget, first of all to say that she's got a huge heart with plenty of room for every single child in this country. And over 16 years ago, before Bridget and Shelley had that auspicious meeting at the Potter's Market where they decided to join forces and start WordWorks, Bridget had already started a parent program which she developed and run a pilot for it.
Sue was phoning me this morning.
Drawing out information. So over the years, Bridget refined and built on the parent program to what it is today, the excellent, highly effective homeschool partnership program, endorsed by the Western Cape Education Department and used in many of its schools. So Bridget also worked closely with Shelley on some of the other programs, in particular the Stella in the early years, and also in more recent years on developing Every Word Counts. And over the last 2 years, I've worked with Bridget on Little Stars and the Grade R Language Improvement Literacy Program. And they have seen the value of her contribution. Bridget, there is no doubt that the parent program has had a deep impact on the communities that have used it. And it has actually changed the lives of thousands of parents, teachers, and children. So sadly for us, after many years of devoted work, Bridget's also retiring at the end of this year. Bridget, you deserve the rest, but we will miss you a lot. So on behalf of everyone at WordWorks, I would like to thank you for your calm wisdom, your deep insight and critical thinking, your wonderful creativity, and most importantly, your integrity and kindness. So we wish you many happy years of retirement, tramping around our beautiful mountain, and spending time with your precious children and family.
Sue, I have to say, you really took me by surprise there. You know me, I actually don't like being the center of attention at all. It really is difficult. But it's a very hard journey to take this step, but I know that I'm going to be connected forever. And that's what is so wonderful. And Shell, I'll never forget those days, those early days. And sometime we'll just walk on the mountain and just talk about them. Good. Thank you, everybody.
And now I'd like to call up the O'Carroll family and Edeline.
All 5 of you. Even those who are not Am I getting upset?
Yeah.
We're going to make you stand up for nothing. Oh.
Yeah, I was just needing that attention of you to laugh a bit so that I can be calm. Okay. Firstly, I would like to thank everyone for making... Oh, sorry, I've forgotten to wear my glasses. I'm going to read so that I don't miss everything that I've written here. So firstly, I would like to thank everyone for making time to be here today. We greatly appreciate your company. We thank God for us to be here today, and we are what we are by His grace. Our special thanks and appreciation goes to Sullivan and Mary Ann for their tremendous support towards WordWorks. Indeed, WordWorks is here today because of your never-ending generosity. Thank you for housing WordWorks in the basement of your family house during the early years of this organization. So this sentence reminds me, Shelley, Bridget, Angie, and Sue, we had no sink. So, I had to take my dishes in a small little dish. Then I fetched some water. There was a tap outside. Then I had to wash my dishes, put them aside, let them dry, take them inside. But when I was thinking around it, I was saying, is this organization going to grow? We are so little. But tell you what, this is very serious. I had a dream, I think Shelley told you. It was Shelley and Angie, they were in a boat. But the water was very shallow, very, very shallow, so that the boat was like... But later, the water was rising and rising and rising and rising, and I couldn't see them. I told you, Shelley, do you still remember? Yes. Here we are, Shelley. We are here. We are here. So, when we eventually had our offices, you made sure that we were comfortable by providing us with furniture, office blinds, pictures, cushions, and many other things. Do you still remember the whole staff? We had our boutique, and she also contributed to it. And the money that we were selling those clothes, it went to our book fund. So something small, it was also recorded. And not forgetting the delicious meals, soups, and salads that we always enjoyed. We greatly appreciate your support in providing that beautiful storage for our materials, and please accept our apologies, for we ended up occupying the whole garage. And we had to park your cars on the side road instead of your beautiful garage. We really apologize. Thank you so much for changing many lives of children by affording school fees and opportunities through your generous donations to the bursary fund. On behalf of my family and WordWorks, I say thank you, and may our Lord Jesus Christ keep you always. Last but not least, we are grateful for giving us your daughter, wife, Stu, mother, for us to be here today, and for nursing her to be a beacon of light and hope for many. Can I just tell you something? It was one day, we were still in St. James. Then I had a phone call. Hello? Hello? I'm saying, hello, this is WordWorks. Yes. can I speak to your boss? Who's this? I was a bit nervous. And do you know where your boss is? I'm like, please, can I know the caller, please? It's none of your business. So who's this now? I was a bit worried. And I was a bit scared. And it was Stuart. Oh, my word. And lastly, but not least, I would like to thank Ali and Josh for allowing Mommy to steal your time, for not having your time with her. She was always rushing. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Oh, Adeline, you sang so beautifully. Oh.
Lots of words for you. Okay, you can carry the card. There we go.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Do we deserve anything? And then, of course, Ali, John, thank you. This is for you guys to enjoy.
So that is the end of the formal proceedings, but I just wanted to say thank you to Shelley and your family and everyone, but also to the WordWorks team for keeping this a surprise. Well done. It's been really lovely, and I know it's been a lot of hard work has gone into it, so it's been fantastic. So thank you, everybody. And there's food and drinks still behind, so stay and enjoy.
I'd just like to thank Mignon especially. You know, she's as busy as everyone and more, and leads an amazing organization herself. And so, yeah, I mean, I did feel it was quite an imposition to ask her to serve on our board when I did. And yeah, you've just always made the time for us. You've also created so many opportunities for us and been very generous with sharing your knowledge and expertise. And you've stepped up into the role of treasurer and yeah, just led as you do also with just doing the work and being there and being present, and we really appreciate it. And yeah, we really look forward to seeing your journey. We know we're going to keep crossing paths with you, so it won't be for long that we, I mean, you'll be on our board into next year, but we're all in this work for a long time. And Mignon's got exciting plans and also just contributed so much to our sector in as our children get older. The amazing work that you do. So thank you for being part of us and for your bigger contribution.
It's a great pleasure and privilege, so thank you. And it's, yeah, I love being part of WordWorks. I'm also not going to leave. I'll be an alumni board member forever.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.